Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to the Ausome Parent video podcast. And I am basically here today with Valencia Lee. And today we're going to just kind of go into our new series, Talent on My Timeline. And for the month of September, we're talking to super women. And in this case today, we're talking to a super mom. So let me see here. So Valencia Lee is a wife, a mother of 5, a makeup artist, a motivational speaker, and more. And today we're going to talk about healing, overcoming trauma, and finding yourself again and again as a mom, especially being a mom of 5, growth and more. So I find myself struggling with 2 children, but I see this particular talent on my timeline, Miss Valencia Lee, shining bright with 5. So if you check out Valencia's Facebook page, she has a flyer there where in her bio, it explains part of her mission, which is teaching people how to break the stigma of mental health and uplifting around the world to elevate mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And that's part of what we are going to discuss today. So hello, Valencia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So let's just get right into it. So what is your best advice to help a mother out there that is struggling today? What are some of your steps for success? Where do you think that they should start?
I would say, being a mother, being a parent, period, is not an easy job. It's one of the most rewarding, but it's not easy. And there's like no book on how to get through this thing and navigate it. It's strictly trial and error. The best thing I could say is grace yourself. Glean from people who are older, who kind of been there, done that. I know in my life that has helped me, whether it was church mothers, aunties, or just, close friends that had already had a head start with the whole parenting game. And I was like, just getting in, and you take what you can take and the rest you just throw away. And so I would say surrounding yourself with a strong community is definitely helpful, to give you insight on how to parent better, because we learn oftentimes from our mistakes and experiences. And so for me personally, those are things that has helped me grow. And again, really just being gracious with yourself. Hopefully that answered the question.
No, that's very important. I think to your point, having grace, being able to accept the fact that, yes, you also can make mistakes and not crumbling when you do make mistakes and beating yourself up too bad is very important. So that's very true too. And also, like you said as well, getting help from your community, getting advice from your community is also very important.
Indeed.
So what challenges have you faced as a mother of 5?
Challenges I faced as a mother of 5. I won't say having 5 children alone is a challenge within itself. However, it's not. It's okay. Not. Like the number of kids is not a challenge. I think because my children, the relationship we have, we're very close, and they help me out tremendously. And it's like each one teach one kind of thing. So the older ones, they look after the younger ones and they teach them things, because I'm only one person. I can't be everywhere. Right. So we've all kind of grew up together, especially my oldest 2, because I got pregnant young, and we just kind of grew up together. So the number of children in itself is not the issue. It became problematic as I was going through my healing process, as I was trying to navigate where I was and not understanding who I was, having all these identity crises, having mental illness, like a plethora of different things going on with me, and not disconnecting myself from my children and from my spouse has been very challenging, and trying to get on a path of being there for yourself, but also being present for the people who matter and the people who need you most. And that was difficult to do the first, because my oldest is 13. So I honestly didn't really get the revelation until a month ago on how to better parent and how to be better present for my children the way that they needed me to show up.
I feel like it's like, and I think you were mentioning this basically in so many different ways, that balance, finding balance of how do I make time for myself and also be present for my kids, like you said, also be present for my man. It's a difficult juggling act that we face as mothers. But yeah, finding that balance is a constant learning journey because, now I'm in a place now to where my kids are about to start going to school. So they're going to need more from me as far as they might have after school activities, different things, So to your point, just making sure that you establish even a routine, establish some balance within your life to try to fit some time in for you is very important. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say healthy boundaries for yourself, because this is the part where grace comes in. Because you can't be everywhere at the same time, because you're only one person, not overextending yourself to the point where you're exhausted, you're resentful, and you're just in a bad space all the time, because that spills out to our loved ones, right? So what I've learned, and therapy has given me these tools, what I've learned is sow love, pour love, constantly connect emotionally with your children. So when you do need the break, when you do need to step away, you have so much love in the love bank that's overflowed that you can afford to take some time and recuperate. But when you're not giving that initially, and then you try to take a step back and do self-care or whatever, whatever that looks like, it becomes a problem, because then your children start to feel neglected. They start to feel like they, maybe they done something wrong, when it's something internally wrong with you, but you don't necessarily know how to have a conversation, or you don't want to emote in front of your children. But it's important to sometimes, because we need to let our children know that we are human, and we experience things, and we're not just their parent and we just know everything, but that we have been through things too. And our mission is to help them not make those same mistakes, and to guide them and protect them as far as we are able to. And also just, I remember there was a point in time where I was so focused on building my brand, because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 9 years now. And I have no desire to go back and work a 9 to 5. Stay-at-home life has pretty much been good to me. However, I am trying to build something, an empire, or whatever you want to call it, surrounding my makeup business, motivational speaking, and just different things that I have my hands in, teaching classes. And I was so focused on that, because I'm like, I want to be self-made. I want to, at the time, my mentality was revenge. My best revenge is my success. And so me just trying to prove a point, me trying to strive to get to a certain level of achievement, because so many people counted me out. But in turn, that was stressing me out. It was causing more depression. And I was completely removed from my children. Yes, I'm in the home, but I'm disconnected. Like, they're not seeing me and engage with them, because I'm in Zoom meetings all the time, or I'm just in my office isolated, or I'm in the bed. Between work and depression, it wasn't a good combination. And so when I say that, to my earlier statement about, I just caught this a month ago, I started a new therapy program, and it has given me the tools to retract my purpose, rethink about the things in life that are most important to me. And it's not being a boss chick. It's being a present, emotionally stable mother to my children whom I birthed, who didn't ask to be here. It's me putting them first and knowing that God was going to take care of me on the back end, that whatever desires and needs that I had, he was going to continue to elevate me, and I wouldn't have to miss a beat just because I had to step back from the camera or whatever. And a lot of times I incorporate them in the content that I do. And I kind of make it like a family thing. I know that was like a long
I
drawn
love
out
your
answer.
TikToks. I love your TikToks, girl.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. That's like the best thing that I just love to do, because it brings out my personality, because I'm a serious person most of the time. But I know that was a long drawn out answer, and, but I just wanted to shed light to that, because I've been going through a lot of different rifts and transitions in the last month and a half, and it's just been a lot. But I feel like I have a better handle on things now.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. I mean, I took a lot away from that. I think I'm about to rewatch this video, girl, because I'm like, or have a notebook here with notes. But no, I took away love bank. That's very important. I feel like with the love bank, you have to have multiple accounts in that love bank. You have to have an account for yourself, an account for your loved ones in general, and an account for your kids, and whoever may be important to you in your life. But yeah, that's very important. I also took away, I think at some point, it may not even been in that answer, but I took away boundaries. Yeah. Being able to say no to people, especially as a mother. It kind of doesn't matter how many kids you have. Sometimes you can get to a point where you're overextending yourself.
Yeah.
So you do have to make time for that. And then I also took away something that I've just been thinking about in general lately, which is the fact that, so many of us have perfect looking lives on social media. I think all of us do, because you're always putting your best foot forward on social media, which can be, I think, it's a good and a bad thing, because yes, we want to put our best foot forward, but it can be bad for like our future generation, or for people that are looking at us on social media and thinking to themselves, oh, here comes one of my babies now. But this person's life is perfect.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we're all going through something. I think that's one thing that I figured out in life. And it's okay that we're all going through something.
Yeah.
Because we're constantly all in a learning journey.
Right.
So in therapy, I took away as well something that's very important that I think that a lot of people don't embrace. So I think you already answered my next question, which is how do you overcome these challenges? One of those being therapy. But is there anything you want to add to that question? How do you overcome the challenges that you have faced being a mother of 5? I think you kind of answered that with like love bank and all that as well. But did you have anything to add to that?
My spirituality plays an important factor in my life as well. I am a Christian, and whatever, I'm in therapy once a week. However, there are some things that I don't get all in therapy in one session. And I take that to the Lord in prayer. Being more intentional about that, actually, because sometimes we try to handle problems all our own and figure it out, because that's just the human nature in us. However, I've learned that my anxiety subsides when I'm more intentional about prayer and giving whatever challenge that I might be facing, involving my kids over to God, praying for my children. I notice a difference when I get the oil and I put it on their heads and I start praying, especially with my oldest, because that's the one who tries me the most. So being intentional about praying for my kids, like, Lord, because sometimes it just be like, I don't know. But that part has played a major factor in this journey that I'm on as well.
That's very important and very good to note as well, for sure. All right, let's see here. What's my next question? So what are some of the things that you do or routines you may practice to keep your sanity?
I love music. I am very busy, so I spend a lot of time in the car. To be honest, that is the most tranquil time that I probably ever get, outside of middle of the night watching TikTok, trying to get ideas for my next video.
Okay, I be doing that too.
Yeah, like the nighttime is the right time because it's like everybody is gone away and it's quiet. So I find myself, it's not a healthy habit. Staying up late is not, but sometimes that's the only time I can find peace.
Right.
Prayer, sometimes late night prayer is just definitely my way to just release whatever heaviness I've been carrying and just taking it to the Father. Crying out, doing whatever I need to do, being vulnerable, because sometimes I'm not able to be vulnerable during the day or whatever. So usually at night is when I'm able to be most vulnerable, and it helps me to gain my sanity back. It helps me to be encouraged, being mindful about what I'm listening to, what I'm entertaining. That all plays a part as well. I remember when I started shifting and putting my kids first, I realized there was just a lot of things I was entertaining that was not fruitful. So that will make you lose your sanity all its own. And you don't even realize you're depressed or you're stressed, or you're acting out as a result of what you're giving your time to. So that part is very important, being mindful of your time and your energy that you're giving out, what's fruitful and not fruitful. And of course, mani and petties. Those are like my favorite things to do. And Starbucks.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yes. So as far as being a makeup artist, though, do you feel like that's something that's therapeutic for you as well? Something that you're passionate about, allows you to kind of bring your creativity out, that type of thing?
So, okay. Teaching classes and doing makeup for the deceased is like, I won't say the highest honor, but it's up there. I do makeup application, whether it's for brides or birthday parties, and all that's cool. And I'm able to connect with new clients. I'm able to connect with people who I just know already, and I'm able to be effective in that space because I know that there's something about me that's beyond makeup. And my mission or my purpose, I feel, is to bring healing to women in whatever space that looks like. I, for one, have struggled with my makeup career because I would compare myself to other makeup artists and I would feel like, my work is not, top tier, or it's not that of my fellow makeup sisters or, whatever people that I'm in the business with and we get along. However, I've learned that this is me, this is my lane, and I do what I do. And the people who like it are able to benefit from it, and those who don't, But I get the most joy out of teaching classes, teaching women how to apply the makeup. And it's beyond just the makeup application in itself. It's giving you a boost of confidence that you never thought you would have. Opening people's eyes when it comes to makeup, because you would be surprised at how many women are like scared of makeup and nervous or have such anxiety about, oh my God, I don't know where to start. And I don't know if this color looks right. But when they do it, it's like, man, I didn't know I could do this, or, oh, I'm doing a lot better than I thought I could. And it's just giving people that hope, that confidence. Like, you don't even need to do a lot. We're just teaching you basic steps. And that's what I do. I teach beginners just basic steps on how to do something cute, simple, in like 20 minutes or less, because you don't have money to pay a makeup artist all the time when you want to go out or it's something special.
You don't have time, so 20 minutes
you don't have time. You don't have time. That's that right. Part. So I teach women how to, do these things so they can get better and better at it and, knock out some other stressors. But yeah, that teaching classes and doing makeup for the deceased, because I did work in funeral homes for an extended period of time some years ago, and I just absolutely love it.
Well, it's so funny. Well, like I told you earlier, number one, you look great today. You look
Thank
perfect.
you.
Her camera's on point. My camera not on point, y'all, but her camera is on point and it's showing the best. It's showing a very good look. Like I don't see anything wrong at all with your makeup look today. Everything looks on point. I don't know if you use primer or not, but it's no
I
shine.
do all
You
of
looking
it.
good. You
Thank
looking good.
you.
All right. So let's see here. Now, you do have a new documentary actually coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I'm not sure if you're able to talk about it or not, or anything like that, but what can you tell us?
So the documentary, it is finished. Hallelujah. We've been working on this project. Well, me personally, it's been about 2 years. Altogether, it's been a good 5. I kind of came in late because it was already in the works. It's me and 2 other women talking about our journeys and experiences with our moms. And the documentary is to shed light on mother-daughter dynamics in the African American community and why there's such a disdain or a disconnect between mothers and daughters. We oftentimes focus on daddy issues, but there are some toxic mothers too. But it's all rooted back to what happened to them.
Oh, I was going to say that. I don't want to interrupt you too much, but I've thought about that, like even with my own parents, or parents in general. Now that I'm a parent, I can kind of see where it's like, okay, I'm struggling as an adult myself. I'm struggling with my own issues. I can see where they could have been struggling with their issues as well. But yeah, go ahead and continue. I'm sorry to interrupt.
And I'm glad you said that because it's hard to make that connection sometimes because, you're like, oh my God, I just wanted to be loved as a kid. Or, how come my mom didn't take the time to, be there for me and, just all this stuff. And one thing that I've tried to desperately do was not be my mother, show affection towards my children, tell them I love them as often as I can and just, be present. But in turn, I realized therapy again helped me realize I was not being present. Why? Because my mother was never present. She was in the home, but she was isolated because she dealt with the eating disorder, anorexia, bulimia. And so she was always secluded. And I was carrying the task of raising my younger sisters at just the age of 10. And so
that happens so much, unfortunately.
And it's a lot. And, I remember expressing this when I was that age, and the response I got was, well, I had to raise my sisters and brothers when I was coming up. It's just like a generational cycle. And it's like, no, I don't want that for my life. And so I am desperately fighting to raise awareness on mental health, raise awareness on mother-daughter relationships and how we can bridge the gap and come together and heal. How can mommy heal? If she's still here, how can she heal? This documentary has allowed me to heal and forgive my mother. My mother is no longer here. She died 13 years ago. But it has allowed me to go back in time, get information from family members that I didn't even know was going on with my mom. And I was able to have like such sympathy and empathy for her, and realizing she did her best with the cards she was dealt. Although it was a very abusive relationship, verbally and physically and mentally, there were some things I started to see as I got older and she became more ill that my mother really did love me. She just didn't know how to express it. And she definitely didn't have anybody advocating for her mental health. She didn't have community like I have community. Or access to therapists. She just gave in to whatever her circumstances were. And I believe, okay, I'm ready.
Sorry, go ahead.
But the documentary has allowed me to not only share my story and my pain and experiences just with my mother, but it also allowed me to tell her story. With her not being here, I believe that, this is a good way to raise awareness and have conversations and hopefully bring mothers and daughters closer together.
Mm-hmm.
And it,
I think that, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the premiere date is set for December 3rd. We finally got a date. And so we'll start remarketing and putting the trailers out and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that for sure. I was just going to say that basically the same way, you know, we talked about allowing ourselves grace earlier. Sometimes we have to also allow our parents, the people in our lives, grace to an extent, because you had to have boundaries with that too, you know. So it's all about the balance we talked about earlier. You don't want somebody to continue to run over you. You don't want to give somebody grace to the point where you're being continuously having pain inflicted upon you for continuously allowing them grace. You know, it has to be a point of, you know, I'm going to allow you grace from afar in some instances too. But yeah, our parents do go through stuff. We go through stuff. We see that now. So I think that is something that's important for us to be aware of. Therapy can help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Something else I realized in therapy was something called radical acceptance. And it's accepting the past for what it was, not condoning the things and behaviors of the people who harmed you and inflicted this trauma on you, not condoning that, but accepting that you are in control now. And it's on you. You're in control of your now, you're in control of your future. Get the help that you need. Have the conversations you need to, so you can be a better version and not repeat the things that happened to you and not become those people who wounded you. So when I got that concept, it was easier for me to move on and really become serious about my mental health and being a better person.
That's very good as well. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Oh goodness, my kids are really getting on my nerves right now. Hold on, let me pause the video for a second. Sorry about that. It might happen again. I hope not.
No, it's fine.
Y'all, my kids keep bothering me. Okay, but anyway, that's a part of this mom life. Trying to be
it is what it is.
Some type of entrepreneurial mom here. Okay, so we had mentioned, you said accepting the past for what it was. That's where we left off on. The fact that my scrambled egg brain could remember that. But yes, no, that is very true, because you can allow your past to stop your future. Yes. You can allow your past to create, like you said, that depression. And it happens. It happens to us on, you know, it can happen to us unexpectedly. We have to give ourselves grace for those days where we just can't pick ourselves up and continue. I feel like that I have, to a certain extent, either mastered ignoring my past or just like kind of overcoming that in a sense. But there's other things that depress me. There's other things that get in my way. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But no, I totally get where you're coming from with that. I think that is very important for people to know. You have to accept what was for what it was. And do your best to come to peace with it, pray about it, lay it at the altar of the Lord, whatever you have to do. So that way you can create a better present for yourself, a better future for yourself, you know, for
absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. What is your take on the current self-love or care movement in general, and how do you fit? I think we talked about this part of it earlier, though, like how do you fit self-love and self-care into your routine while we're raising 5 kids? But I think it's important for moms to include the me and mommyhood, as I talked about earlier. But basically, like, what is your take on the current self-love and care movement in general? Let's start there.
I have an unpopular opinion about it. I think it's a little, how can I put this? Just if I had to go based on the things that I've seen on social media, it reminds me of like idol worship, self-centeredness, people being selfish, right?
Right.
I I just think that it's probably gone a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Where people are okay. I'm like,
that's why I wanted to ask you about it, like just to see where you were on it as well. But no, I'm totally getting where you're coming from. I think that like I mentioned earlier, there has to be balance. Like as a mother, yes, of course I want to give myself self-love and self-care, but I see that most of the hours of my day are going to go towards my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I might get 30 minutes if I'm lucky.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, this is just, and I don't want to sound harsh, but this is the role of a mother. This is what you chose to do, whether you planned it or didn't. This is, you are now giving your time and effort and energy into little humans that you have to, for one, keep alive, and two, raise, because that part in itself, okay? But, you know, raising, you know, model citizens that will be adults. And it's like, if we're not pouring into them, but we're just taking it all for ourselves, and I just wonder, you know, what have we become? And what are we doing to our children? But that's just me.
I think that if I was more aware of it when I was single, it would have been different. Because when you're single, you can offer up as much self-love, self-care. I'm going to take myself and pamper to be, you know, you can do whatever you want.
Do what you want to do.
Or if you're in a relationship, the dynamic is different when you don't have kids. You know, me and my fiance, oh my God. Okay, he's buying me this gold watch. Now I'm gonna buy him these $400 privileges. You know, like you gonna just kind of going back and forth with these expensive gifts and stuff. You know, but then you have to be like, okay, now we have kids. Now we have to designate so much money to our kids, so much time, so much energy, so much effort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that can match your fly. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I had to learn that too, because at one point in time, you know, I was just, you know, a real fly mom, and just, you know, because I was always out there in the spotlight or whatever. And just as a confidence booster for myself, for personal reasons, I didn't realize I wasn't giving that back, especially to my daughters. And so I had to learn in therapy again, that just taught me all of this stuff. I had to realize, like, dang, like it wasn't even intentional. It was just simply like, I didn't have the tools before to understand that the things that I lacked growing up, I was like repeating that cycle. And I'm like, you know, I don't want to be that way. So let me make sure everybody fly like they mama, not just their mama flying. And, you know, they just kind of, not saying that they was just out here looking bummy.
I get what you mean.
But you know, I was just putting just way too much emphasis on myself, because that it was an internal thing going on with me, that I just wanted to just be great, and I would stop at nothing to be great. And, you know, I was just being really just selfish because I was lacking esteem and self-worth. And so I was just really self-indulged and kind of walking around with this chip on my shoulder and this invisible throne, if you will. So, but I mean, you know, that's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of a bit of the opposite for me to a certain extent, because what I did was I wound up trying to give my kids, I did too much, you know, like I was trying to give them the childhood that, and I still am trying to give them the childhood that, I wouldn't say that I didn't have, because I had a pretty good childhood and everything like that. But I just wanted to make sure that I gave them anything and everything that they wanted, type of thing. So like, I'm buying too many toys to the point where I'm buying the same toy over and over again. I'm getting them the fanciest this, the fanciest that, you know. And then I realized to myself, wait a minute, I'm spending all this money on my babies, but it's almost like it was working mom guilt, because I do work. So I'm spending all this money on them, but I'm not giving them the time, the energy, the effort. So now I'm in a space, and like you said, it happened for me very recently. Probably, I'd say within the last year, I've been more intentional, as you mentioned, about giving them more of my time. And like when I'm at the store and I see a toy that I think that they might like, instead of me buying them that toy, I'm like, okay, I need to give them more of my time. You know what I'm saying? And actually play with them with the toys that I'm buying for them, or you know what I'm saying, and that type of thing. Like I got to give them more of my time and energy and stuff like that. I feel like at the end of the day, sometimes I'm so exhausted. I'm like, I don't feel like I have time or energy to give them, but I have to muster something up to give them something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the love bank. When you're intentional about pouring into your children, when you need to scale back, nobody misses a beat. Nobody's feeling, neglected or unloved or whatever, because you've poured in so much. And you can take that time away to just be like, look, I just need a few hours, a few days, depending on the severity of where you are. And it just really all goes back to that finding balance. I like what you said about, instead of me buying a toy, I'm investing more time. Take whatever money you was going to do for like with the toys and maybe go out to eat or go to the park, just whatever, have ice cream.
Right.
There's so many ways, because a lot of times these kids don't care about half the stuff we care about. Right. They, here today, gone tomorrow. They just want your time. They want your love. They want to know that mommy loves me. She sees me and that I'm enough.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true. All right, so let's see here. I think that was my last actual question. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Is there anything else that you would like to add or like to share?
I think I'm okay with what I've shared. This was a very healthy, fruitful conversation. And I believe that all of my answers were authentic and intentional, because I really want this to be helpful to someone who may not feel like they're doing enough, whether it's a mom or dad, or, just find it just really challenging to just get through the day or whatever it is. I really want people to be able to benefit from the words and the dialogue that we shared today, so people can grow and become better for the next generation.
Very true. I think that's important too. And I would just add, I would say for anybody out there who's going to become a mother, it's okay if you're not completely healed beforehand, or anyone who is planning on becoming a mother. At some point, it could potentially happen for a woman out there, or to your point, a man becoming a father. I think it's very important for us to do our best while we are single to try to heal ourselves as much as we possibly can. To be the best version of ourselves before we get into parenthood. I know that I was not there. I thought I was there.
Yeah,
I thought I was ready, but then God was like, nope.
Yeah.
Because you get so many different twists, turns thrown at you as a parent. So just trying to be your best version of yourself. Because like you said, you can read as many books as you want to read. They'll be helpful to a certain extent, but nothing's going to truly prepare you for parenthood except for parenthood itself.
Right,
so,
right.
But no, everything that you've had to offer up today was amazing. You truly are a talent on the timeline. You truly are a superwoman, a super mom. I appreciate you giving your time today. And Pam as well. And I guess we will talk soon, and we'll see your documentary out soon as well. Where can people find out more information about you, follow you, get more information about the documentary?
So I do have a website, but because it's really new, I don't know if I remember it. I believe it's info@valenciaL.com. I believe that's what it is.
Okay.
And also,
I'll share the actual link at the end of the YouTube video. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, what other links would you like to share?
Yeah, I can send it to you. I'm also on YouTube as well, as Valore MUA, VALORE MUA. However, I'm not in the rotation, so you might have a little trouble finding me. But I'll send the link to that as well. I'm on TikTok. I don't know my name on TikTok. Lady B 1988. I think I don't be knowing none of this stuff. I just be on there and don't know it. The only thing I know that's solid is Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, Valencia L Lee, and Instagram. I have 2 Instagram pages, well, actually 3. You can follow my mental health page, which is Valencia _L_Lee. So we'll just keep it simple with that Instagram page. But yeah, follow me. I follow back.
Yep, no worries. There's too many social media outlets out here anyway right now. All right, cool. Well, thanks again for joining us. We'll go ahead and end the video now. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, no problem. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.